Now, to continue our review, we started, well, there we have the pictures of Thales, and we talked about the fact that he was from a Greek colony in Turkey, that most of Turkey was populated with Greek colonies, a place called Miletus in Turkey, 624 to 546 BC. Now, if you're wondering why the number is lower when he died, the number is higher when he was born, usually the other way. And no, this is not Hebrew, which is read from left to right. It's from right to left. Sorry, this is English read from left to right. So he was born in 624 and died in 546. But that's because it's BCE. Remember, these are negative numbers. The higher the number goes, the further back in time it is. And we don't have to worry about the numbers, but we get an idea of where he fits in kind of in the events of the world. Obviously, he's after the Old Testament and before Jesus in the New Testament. Okay, so his main thesis was everything is water. That's everything is composed of water, and not only that everything is composed of water, but everything is actually made up of water. And I should mention, what I'm going to be doing in the course of these lectures is we're going to go through the information that's in the Shields book, really page by page. And in fact, let's quickly jump over. Here's a copy in Course Smart. Okay, remember we're reading section 1.1, and in my slides I'm going to be summarizing the important points that Shields made, and we went through a few things talking about how to read it, that we have to read it pretty carefully and pretty slowly. It's important, but what you want to do is when you're reading it, it'll help you, and it'll help you understand it, it'll help you remember it, is if you can kind of, as you're reading it, take some notes on it. Take out a sheet of paper and try to capture some of the main, for each paragraph, some of the main ideas. And that's what I'll be doing in the lecture notes that we'll be going through. But let's bounce back to our set of slides now. Okay, so as we pointed out, the question is, what kind of philosophical thesis is it? And Shields tell us, look, obviously, the guy's not crazy. And then he has this cute expression. He doesn't have a perverse predilection, which we discussed. Perverse, you understand. Predilection, tendency to like, for saying things that are obviously false, right? Because everything isn't made of water. Don't take the computer you're on and dump it in water because Thales says everything's water. You're going to ruin the thing. I mean, we don't buy that today. But he's beginning the tradition of investigation, of science, investigation and speculation, of making bold claims about the fundamental nature of the universe. In that regard, scientists today do very similar things. In fact, scientists have really taken over cosmology, and you might have heard of Stephen Hawking, who you could see on YouTube's. You might know he's the scientist that has ALS. He's wheelchair bound, and his voice is actually synthesized. And he tells us about the Big Bang starting everything, and he makes fun of some philosophers and some of their theories. But this tradition of science really got started with Thales. And the idea is you're starting investigating things, and then you're building a theory based on your observation. Now, his claim, his overall thesis, looks like it defies common sense. But if you think about it, a lot of claims that physicists today make common sense. The one that we mentioned in class that Shields mentions is the idea that physicists will tell you, if you can move really, really fast in a straight line, that is faster than the speed of light, really fast, you will find yourself behind where you are and ahead in time. This is really a strange set of ideas. But when scientists tell us that, they have Einstein's theory of relativity, and that explains all this stuff, we say, gee, that sounds right. So it's not so crazy to think that some of these theories that people come in will sort of defy common sense, which certainly Thales' theory did.